Live from the Stonyfield Studios, it's Houston Real Estate Talk with your host, Kariliz Perez.
Hi, Karen. Welcome to the Houston Real Estate Talk.
Hi, Kariliz. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Karen is the owner and founder of Dekasa. Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
Okay, Dekasa is a construction consulting company. We connect people who are in the market for renovations or new construction with the right architects, builders, and designers. We match them depending on their style, their budget, the area of town which they want to build, and their construction specifications. We have partnered with great builders in the Houston area, and that makes our service available at no extra cost.
Oh, very interesting. So, first of all, how long ago did you start it? Dekasa?
I started this year.
Very good. Congratulations.
I'm excited about it.
Yes,
it's a new concept on the industry, so it's something new, and we're excited to be part of it.
Very unique. Absolutely. Tell us a little bit, how does it work? Does the client go to you first, or how do they find the casa?
Okay, so ideally, yes, they'll come to me first. We'll meet the client and go through everything that they want, what they need, and that way we can guide them through the right direction. We'll meet the builders, we'll interview the builders and the architects, and make sure we're all on the same page. My experience as a purchasing manager, I was 7 years working with a very good construction company, which I still work for.
That's a very long time.
Yes. So those years of subcontracting every trade and buying every material gave me a knowledge that now I can help the clients know about cost. So that's the main thing that this is going to help since the very first stages of the process. Because sometimes if they go directly to architects and they design a beautiful home, but at the end of the day, when it's time for the builders to start bidding, the house is way over budget. So we've seen it a lot, and that's why I think it's very important that somebody from the building team is part of the architectural planning and the very first stages of the pre-construction process.
Very interesting. Very good. Tell me a little bit about that process. How does it work? When a client wants to go ahead and build a house?
Okay, so first of all, they need a lot. So if they have it, it's great. If not, well, I'll refer to you.
Very good.
Preferred real estate agent. And, well, you know the drill. We'll go together. We'll find a lot. If it's, for example, a remodel, we'll go and see the house, and I'll put my input on, you know what, we can do this, we can do that. It's going to cost around this price. And that way they can buy the lot or the house to remodel. The second stage is finding the architect and the builder, right? So it's the planning stage. So it takes about 3 to 4 months to do all the planning stage, and then it's creating a budget. So once you have the plan signed off, you create a budget, you commit to the builder, and you send them to permits. While they're in permits, you start the allowances, no? So you start meeting with a designer, and you get to go pick the countertop, the tile, the appliances, all that, and after that, it's construction. It's very important having all selections on the early stages of construction. That way you prevent change orders and delays. Yes.
Gotcha. You mentioned something about when you go and try to find the lot, and then after you make the selection of the lot, then you go and talk to the architect and the engineers and the builder and all of that. What happens? How do you know is the right lot for what the client has in mind to be built? Like, for example, is it needed an 8,000 square feet lot? Is it 10,000?
On our very first talks, we'll figure out how many square footage they can afford and how many square footage they need.
Gotcha.
If they want 5 rooms, a media room, or something specific, we'll talk everything out of that. And then we'll get the survey. Once you send me the survey, I'll be able to know exactly what size, and if it's going to be a deep house, it's going to be a long or...
And then you'll know if that lot in particular will work for what their needs or wants are.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And at that stage, does the client has to have a loan by then, the construction loan, or is the process, and I know probably this is not part of your expertise because that's not the services you provide, but based on your experience, because you have many years of experience, do you see that the client already has the loan set up so they know the budget?
Yes, most of the time they do. They'll meet with their banker and they have a budget for the lot and the construction, and they do it as one.
Gotcha.
So it's a one close loan.
Right. Very interesting. Okay, very good. How do you or the client decide who's the right builder for them after you have selected the lot and you have the architect and all of that? How does that client knows is the right direction to take?
Okay, so we all know construction is very overwhelming. It can be
Right.
very stressful. So when somebody comes to us, we want to make them to feel like they found a resource that can help you make a better decision,
Right.
and take that stress away from them for that process. No?
Absolutely.
So we'll compare quotes and try to make them as much apples to apples as possible, because every builder quotes differently. It's going to be hard, and I've worked on an extensive Excel sheet that has a lot of things that we can ask, and that way we can ask the builders to quote the same type of the same way.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, obviously the client who's going to choose, and based on the information I provide them, and they're going to choose if it's the right price, and if it's the right type of home, and if they, based on their past experience, and based on, at the end of the day, whoever they feel comfortable and secure.
Of course.
And I have partnered with great builders. I'm very proud of every one of them. And I've walked their houses. I walked their sites and construction sites, and make sure that they're clean and they have everything under control.
Quality.
The quality. And I know that they can deliver a great product.
Right. Very good. You mentioned that part of selecting the builder. Something very important that you just said is it's not everything about price. Quality is a big deal if it meets their style, because every builder, like any builder, any builder has different styles. Some of them are more in the modern, other more on the historical.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that also makes a big difference.
And
correct?
some of them have a builder that only works in memorial, for example,
Right.
or Tanglewood, and another one's expert in the Heights.
Right.
Another ones love the Oak Forest and Garden Oaks area. So it depends on so many variables, but at the end of the day, the client is gonna have the information to make that right choice.
Right. So you're the perfect matchmaker.
Yes.
How do the different builder bid a new construction? So if it's new construction, how do they bid on it, right?
Okay, so there's different builders that different ways. So it's there's so many variables again, but I've been studying these builders, and for example, some of them have a flat rate.
Okay.
So that's for people that don't want any surprises, no? So they go to a house, we can walk one of their houses, and you'll say, okay, this house is X amount of square foot, and if you want to build a 4,000 square foot home, you do the math and they'll know exactly. But you gotta watch out that the specs are exactly what you expect.
And there's no future changes, because if it changes and you add square footage or something like that, all of the numbers changes.
Exactly, yes.
Correct.
And another way, other builders are cost plus.
Okay.
So that's for people that are very picky and they want to know exactly where each $1 went to. So it's like an open book. They can see all the quotes. They can see all the trades. And it can get stressful, but it works for some people like that, because they know exactly what it is.
It's a little bit more detailed where the money goes.
Exactly.
Okay.
So another example is that some have allowances. So an allowance is an X amount of money for something specific. For example, you get
appliances.
Exactly. Appliances, $10,000 for appliances. So you know that you have 10,000 and you can shop around.
Gotcha.
And do it. But some are strict. So some of the custom home builders, or let's call them semi-custom, they have restrictions. So they're like, okay, you can go to select tile to this showroom. And so it's whatever the client wants. If somebody wants very specific tile from the internet, there's builders that accept it and some builders that don't.
Right. I understand. And how long does it take from start to finish, this whole process?
The process of selecting a builder could take maybe months, 3 to 4 months, 2 to 4 months.
Well, also depending on how fast the client moves, right? And if
Exactly,
they're
how much
thinking
they
about
want
it,
it,
and
yeah.
yes, got it.
And then the plans, the architectural, the engineered, and the permits could take also 3 to 6 months, depending on how the city is as well.
Right.
And after foundation is the only stage that you can actually know
More or less how long
the
take.
construction is going to take. So after foundation, we could say from 9 to a year and a half, because
Wow.
depending on the size of the house as well.
Of course.
So it's definitely a long
Yes,
process, but it's definitely worth it, no?
Right.
If you want something unique and beautiful.
Correct. What size of projects do you do? Is it more on the residential or commercial, both?
We do both. I have builders that do only commercial. I have builders that do only residential.
Okay.
I have builders that do both.
Okay.
So I'm actually, anybody in the market for new construction, I have somebody that can help you out.
Very good. And there is a specific size of project that you preferably take, or there's something like a specific price point that you say no, that's not.
You know what? I have a remodel construction company that does as little as a bathroom, a kitchen.
Okay.
So it's anything that
So you
that
can
I could
handle
help.
any type of size project. Very good. Is there something that the client needs to do or prepare before meeting with you, so they be more helpful?
Okay, so I think the main thing is having like inspirational pictures.
Okay.
So that way I have an idea of their style and what they like.
Right.
So that
you
way
don't take them to 100 different builders in town. You go straight to the ones that are going to match their style.
Yes, I'm thinking 3 or 4 builders that we could see, and if they don't like anything, we just go from there and start looking for more.
Right.
But it's around a 1-hour meeting.
Okay.
We'll discuss all their needs, like how big of a house, how many rooms, like do you want the rooms to be downstairs or upstairs? Do you have guests coming in? I mean, there's so many issues that
The area that they have in mind,
the
and
area
things like that.
if they want a pool, if they want a theater room with something special, a wine cellar. I mean, so we can discuss everything, and I'll help them to prepare for the interviews with the builders as well. So know the right questions to ask, like how long have you been? They have been. Obviously, I already know this, but I want them to feel that
they're learning from the
learning
builder,
from them.
and they're getting
the
the
builders
whole-
are gonna sell themselves at the end of the day. I'm just helping everybody get the right information. So I'll bring the client, the builder, and I'll bring the builder, the client with knowing exactly what they want.
Very good. So you're like a guide, matchmaking.
Yes.
And actually do it all in the process, because you'll have to know about everything, a little bit about everything. So in order to be able to help your clients, right? Very good, Karen. Is there anything else that you would like to add, or how can people get a hold of you for those that are thinking about building a residential or commercial project in the next couple of months?
Well, my phone number is 832-434-4811. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as Dekasa Construction Consulting, and I'll be glad to help anybody that's looking for a remodel, even if it's something small. Since we're starting, we're taking everything and we're giving our all to our clients. So
I know you will.
Yes,
Definitely.
so I'm excited about this, and thank you for the opportunity to share.
Thank you, Karen.
And learn about Dekasa.
I appreciate it as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to Houston Real Estate Talk here with Karen Sierra from Dekasa. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.